like so that's why you can also check at your end that these two PRs has been merged. And apart from that, that package vulnerabilities, that two PRs for the backend and front end too. So that is also completed. Like for now, the backend has zero vulnerabilities. Like for all the node versions, like 12, 14, 16, and all the Fabric version 2. So backend has zero vulnerabilities, and the front end has some moderate and some high vulnerabilities are still there. Still, we have merged those PR, but all the critical vulnerabilities has been gone to the front end as well. But there are two, one moderate and one high risk vulnerabilities are there in for the Node 12 and the 14 version. So that is still there, but that is not critical. So that's why we have merged those PRs to for the front end as well. Apart from that, we are looking onto the same because these are related to some Webpack version related issues. So maybe we need to look more upon that. But as of now, we have merged both the PRs for the vulnerabilities too.
Yeah, for those things, there is no alternate actually. Around we tried maximum what are the packages we can upgrade it. We try to upgrade, but still there are some issues as he mentioned, right? Like Manish mentioned, right? That we are not able to upgrade further to that. Where is the maximum which we can upgrade it. So maybe in future we have to see whether it will be resolved in those packages.
It's a good question. I don't think
Yeah.
like Hyperledger as an organization has a policy on how to handle these things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a good question. I think it's a good question that we discuss in TOC.
Yeah, sure.
So
these are all nothing from our application actually, but it will be as a packages we are using the other part packages and all, right? So maybe as as you mentioned, like in the TOC we can try to mention these things, how to resolve this moderator thing. But critical and all everything we fixed it. Only moderate we have it as of now.
Thanks, Manish.
Yeah, these all are updates from the past week, which we have done, these 4 PRs, which we have updated. And apart from that, Arun, we are working on to the new issues that is metric related. So we are parallelly working on to the 2 metrics right now, like ledger block storage commit time, and we are trying to fetch the Fabric version through the metric itself. So since we have just got all the Aditya's PRs that has been raised by him, 4 metric he has been exposed, so we are able to right now get all those metrics and able to hit the URL and get the response and just analyzing how this code works with the metrics. And parallelly we are working on to those 2 metrics which we are picking right now. So we are working on to that.
Makes
sense. New issues.
Yep, makes sense. No worries. So, is it possible? I don't know the current metrics that are exposed, but if you go to dashboard page, I think it's in dashboard page. Right now, it shows liveness status, like the status that we show, green or red indicators. Is it possible to expose these also as metrics?
Okay, with the 2 peers and the orderers status as metrics, you are saying, right?
Yes.
Okay. We have to look upon that.
It will help, let's say, if we subscribe to this metric, the UI through Explorer will always be there. But if we need like automated email alert or something to notify people, then we can use this status information from Prometheus and notify relevant the relevant administrators that their nodes are down.
Okay, we need to fetch those. I mean, the nodes are up or the down. We need to fetch through the metrics, and we need to just get it from the status only. Yeah, we need to look upon to that. Yeah, we will look into that.
And it also, yeah, I'll leave it to you, but see if you think any other information from this portal needs to be exposed, which makes sense from notification standpoint.
Yeah, got it.
I feel like the time update, last update time could be helpful as well. The channel's last update time.
This you are saying, Arun? Okay.
I don't know. So think it through.
Mm-hmm.
Whichever we feel like we need to be notified about makes sense. So channel, the use case that I'm thinking about is, let's say, in a larger blockchain setup, we have multiple organizations, and it is possible that not all organizations have equal access to channel management. Maybe some of them are just participating and others have administrative access on the channel. And for the people who are just part of the channel, or also for people who are not who are not participating in the administration process, it will help if they are told about updates in the channel, in notification to them saying that this channel is now updated with latest information. It might help them.
Okay.
Yeah, we can keep adding. I think once the base framework is set up, we can keep adding additional metrics as needed.
That's why, like, we have specifically right now we have picked 2 metrics and see how we can use into our Explorer application. But later, as you suggested, like whatever the features we can go through these metrics, then we will like use those like status or the channel, whatever we feel relevant to this Explorer thing.
Makes sense. There's going to be change in the UI for channels also, because in channel there is this channel ID written in Explorer, but ideally there is no such concept of channel ID. The channel ID in Fabric terms is the channel name that we refer here.
Yes,
There's
exactly.
going to be some UI changes for that also.
Okay.
This looks good. Thanks, Manish.
Yeah, that's it from my side. Udaya, if you have like any discussions, then.
Yes, Arun. Actually, I want to tell one thing only. Actually, last time we discussed regarding that UAM, right? So regarding that, I have started to set up the Keycloak server since it's an open source one, as we discussed, and I have chosen the OIDC protocol to implement that Federation SSO thing. Currently, I have set up the server, but I am facing some issues, so I'm currently in development stage. Once it's done, I'll let you know. But we have chosen that Keycloak server with OIDC protocol. Is it fine, or do you have any suggestions on that?
Choosing OIDC sounds good. And the architecture that you're following follows the standard SSO mechanism, right? Like the way
Yes.
we were exploring on AWS side.
Yes. Actually, have
Understood.
shown a architecture, right? Whether we can use SAML or OIDC. So since Keycloak supports both, but OIDC is very a default protocol for Keycloak, and I have followed the same. Since our application is simple, I mean, small application, then we can use OIDC. It's better. So I have chosen that.
Awesome. Yep.
So once it's done, I'll show you a demo. Currently, these are the updates regarding that UAM.
Awesome. So that's probably like the most complicated piece for now, the part that you are working on.
Currently, that part, SSL part, is making some issues. So that's what it takes some time.
Awesome. I strongly feel like you and Manish, you should all be able to have a session like discussing the tech details of this, or maybe talking through challenges like a informative session, a meetup organized through Hyperledger. So I see Ravi on the call. Ravi, is it possible to accommodate a session in the Hyperledger India chapter event, which is coming up in December? We can figure that out. But yeah, these are all like complex pieces that you're all building.
Mhm. I think these are all the things. Satya, if there is anything we can discuss?
Yeah, Manoj, if you want to share your update, you can go through your changes, whatever you did.
Yeah, Satya. So I have few changes, updates related to that channel thing which Archana mentioned in the last call. So I was able to I didn't started the network because I was in Germany. So Manish, could you please share your screen so that I can show in the dashboard itself what are the so can you go to this channels tab? Yeah. So Arun, previously, whatever the thing that I developed using this, like in order to get this boot up mode, previously in the custom mode, whatever the blocks I am giving, it is like the network is getting up with those many blocks. And here in the block sections and transaction sections, only that many blocks is getting updated. Suppose if I in custom mode, if I want to bring up the network with 5 blocks, so here it is showing as 5 blocks. From that point of time, it is going to update. Like if I perform any transaction or anything, then it is going to update like 5, 6, 7, like. But in our scenario, or whatever, like what Archana mentioned is, we need to get the total number of blocks that is present in the network. So in order to update this one, I made some changes in the code, and I was able to like uh, reach the goal. So I'm getting the total number of blocks and transactions as expected. So I'm waiting for mm, to push the code. So there are some minor changes I need to do, like some optimization. Once I optimize the code, then I can push and like we can look into that. So one is that one, and now I'm going to work on that purge mode, which is like continuation that wrapper to that boot up mode. So this week I'll work on that.
Okay. For the first issue that you mentioned, is there a GitHub issue created for that?
In the continuation of that same peer, we are doing that. Arun.
Okay. Oh, it's not merged. Is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay. Sounds good.
Related to the boot up mode, all things are like seems working fine. I tested with the scenarios which Archana mentioned also. So those are working fine as expected. So next thing is purge mode. I am going to work on that.
Sounds good. So how has been the mentorship experience so far for you? I know I haven't been able to follow up a lot.
It's quite good actually. So I was able to spend my free time on this Hyperledger and other blockchain concepts also. So yeah, like I was able to got to know Hyperledger like Fabric in depth. So because of this mentorship program.
Awesome. I remember both Uday Kumari and Archana used to schedule multiple meetings on this with you, right?
Yes,
I've
yes,
seen
yes.
so many invites in last few weeks.
Yeah, me, Udaya, and Archana, Manish, we are connecting on bi-weekly calls, and in order to like get the progress and all, discuss the progress and all this.
Nice. Yeah, feel free to reach out Anybody who should be able to help, and you're already in touch with mentors. It's good.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, that's
We'll
all from
see.
my side. Yeah.
Thanks, Manoj. We'll see if Deepika is able to get the new mock-ups soon. That will allow you to also jump in helping the new UI implementation.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, since it will be like difficult to reach out to the specific time, and hence that's the reason we thought we will schedule 2 calls in a week, so it will be easy for him also to check any issue, something to proceed instead of stucking only whenever we require. It will be difficult because he may be busy and our people are here as well, right? So we thought we'll schedule bi-weekly, so whatever issues we can close in those 2 calls. That's what we thought.
Agreed. Yeah, that sounds good. It's actually excellent effort, and this sounds like a great model to work in open source collaboration.
Correct.
We should get the additional teams and get the Explorer project as a top level project from labs. I'm very sure UC will like this working way, the ways of working that we have.
Okay. Yeah, that's all from our side. Any update from Hyperledger side or any improvements related to this?
Relate to Explorer is so after the blog release announcement, there has been trust in multiple people.
Okay.
Like I'll try and keep it brief, but there is going to be some discussion on Explorer, use of Explorer tomorrow's TOC meeting.
Okay.
So there is like a group of people meeting together, trying to see how different projects related to Fabric can be put together and create an end-to-end experience for somebody who is new. And Explorer serves as the only central component in that list, right? For instance, for Fabric deployment, there are multiple projects. There is Minifab, Microfab for development environments, and then there is samples repository also through scripts. Somebody can set up it. And there is Bevel for production deployments, and then there are operator projects. And on top of that, when it comes to network operations, there is that Fabric operations console project in lab, and Cello project. And when it comes to network visualization, alerts, and monitoring, Explorer serves as the only project in that space. And then on top of that, when it comes to the connectivity with the Fabric, there are other projects like Cacti, the HLF connector, and Firefly. They all come under that connectivity part. So when we look at this end-to-end stack, Explorer is the only project that sits in that space, which is about monitoring and network visualization space.
Okay, got it.
And yeah, that's the that like end-to-end architecture visualization, that is something that people are looking into. And that's really good progress. And that is expected to attract more contributions, and that will make Explorer as one of the key component in the entire architecture. And the other thing that's going on within Hyperledger Foundation is the TOC period is going to end in December. There's going to be new election conducted. I believe the voting starts today, the next 15 days, and then there is like new TOC coming up after that.
Okay. This is for all Hyperledger projects, Arun, or each project wise this TOC will be selected?
Okay, so the structure would be at the foundation level, there are like 11 people as of now who will be selected or elected in the TOC.
Okay.
And on the So let's say once these TOC members are elected, they will be across foundations, and they would set the policies and oversee the technical aspects, right? For instance, this year there were task forces on security policy, task force on artifact signing, and TOC will identify the areas that needs to be worked upon and set up policies across foundation, and that will continue through that. And then there is also a recent thing that happened, like maybe last year, that happened within the TOC, which allows each project also to have a committee within their project, right? I think it would be like technical steering committee of that project. And then the project steering committee can decide certain. So when the TOC sets the policy, there are areas which TOC will not do anything. They will only set the mandatory policies, and many places would be left as discretionary to the project, because depending on the project, the case may vary. And the technical steering committee of the project would be responsible for setting those policies. So yeah, that's how it is set up. There are also talks right now which will be brought up tomorrow to form an advisory committee. When we look at other open source projects, there are concepts of advisory committees, which it really helps, especially when the open source teams are distributed across time zones. It makes sense to have like an advisory committee who have similar or equal powers, and then in any policy setting, and their recommendation is mandatory to make any policy decisions, right? Yeah, all of this is like a discussion phase. The current set that exists is the TOC, and the project teams can form their own TSC.
Okay.
So the other things that projects follow is, for instance, we are discussing so many new features in Explorer, right? When we move to a top level project, there is this process of RFC, the request for comment. It allows us to create like a GitHub based collaboration. We create a page saying that this is the new feature that will be implemented. We open it up for people to comment in. If they have any feature request, they would come and create the request there. And all of that will be captured as a resource, the request intake form. And Fabric also has it's called Fabric RFCs. And many of the design decisions and what will be implemented is all documented there.
Okay, got it.
We go to github.com/Fabric RFCs. We can see that how the Fabric team does.
Okay. So that anybody, like, they will decide the priority or the features. Somebody will review and they will start working on that, or it's not like that. No priority is set up for this. Somebody creates issue, right?
Yeah, the project team would be ideally responsible for that.
Okay.
For instance, this is the Fabric RFC process. They recently started with this admin SDK project, right? So if we see the admin SDK over here, it was documented on November 11th. And they're documenting what this project admin SDK is all about, what's the motivation, what should it look like, what all things it does. And all of that is documented, including sample interfaces.
Okay.
The limitations, if any. And this will be done before the implementation. And once the RFC is approved by the project decision-making team, it will then be accepted for implementation.
Okay.
You can see majority of those decisions over here. Even the orderers version 3 things, the BFT signature options that was introduced in Fabric, the Go SDK, change code, the private data purge feature that was introduced. All of that is documented.
This will be a good feature, actually, private data purging, right, normally. So that is good.
Agree. Yeah. Earlier there was only delete option. Now there is purge option.
Correct.
So when we move to top level project, we can follow this process as well. Even now we can actually follow, then later we can just migrate the repositories.
Yeah, got it.
There will also be like, if I'm not wrong, it was either 2 or 3 dedicated security leads for each project.
Okay.
Who will be primary contact for any security related issues. There are like interesting things that happen, including creation of embargo list. Embargo list allows, like say, there are multiple companies who are using Explorer, and then embargo list would be a private list which the foundation will create. And then those companies who are part of embargo list will be notified of any vulnerability. This allows those companies, because they work either in a large setup, like they are the biggest implementation, or maybe they help other companies create their blockchains. It allows us to create that framework where we notify like vulnerabilities in a private setup as soon as possible to them. That way we mitigate bigger risks.
This will be notification will be during build time or running time also possible, Arun, for notifying the users.
So this is the process, not a tech thing. The embargo list is a process. There will be some signing or agreement of non-disclosure between foundation and the company who is signing up in the embargo list. And the project team has option to define how they create their own embargo list. But there will be a process, like legal process involved, so that because they get early access to all the information. If there is any, let's say, security issue which is reported in a particular project, then that particular embargo list will receive early access to that information. And that should not be misused or leaked out in public setup, right?
Correct.
The intention is because they are the people who are making like bigger implementations possible, either like in their own organization, or maybe like they are helping other companies create their blockchain networks. The embargo list allows them with the early access information. It helps them at least have some preventive measures until the fix is available.
Okay.
So when Explorer becomes a top level project, we should also, when
go
we
with this process.
Yeah, we should create this process as well. So that's all I can think of as of now. There are other task force going on as well, such as like badging lifecycle and everything, but those would not impact Explorer project because those would be mostly for the existing projects. There's going to be an annual review process, and then if projects are not updating their status and then they're not following what their annual goals were, and there is possibility that project could be brought down from graduated states to something else.
Yeah, got it.
Because there are incentives for,
yeah,
there are incentives for graduated projects to be graduated.
Yeah, thanks, Arun, for these insights. Getting updates. Yeah, this is good actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, anybody else? Anything else we can discuss? Otherwise, we can close it and call.
No, Satyan, that's all it is.
Yeah, that's it from our side. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, then if nothing, then we'll close it. Maybe next week, bi-weekly, we'll connect.
Sure. Thanks, Satya. Thanks, team. Thanks, everyone.
Yeah, thanks, Tim. Yeah, thank you.
If you can, Ravi, see if you can schedule a session for Explorer in the India Blockchain Week that is being organized in December. Ravi, can you hear us?
I think he's on mute, but he's there in the call.
I can follow up with him on chat also. There is
Yeah,
like big
sure.
event going on in December in India. I think that's good forum for us to discuss all this complex work going on.
Yeah, sure. So definitely we can do. Yeah.
Thanks, Satya. Thanks, everyone.
Yeah.
Bye.
Thank you all. Bye. Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks, everyone.